Boker Tov, good morning, everyone. We are in our 25th day of Elul somehow. I don't know how that has happened, but here we are. And we begin as we do each morning by singing the words of Psalm 27, verse 4. One thing I ask of the Eternal, only that do I seek, to live in the house of God all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Eternal, and to frequent God's temple. Achat she'alti me'etz Adonai, otah avakesh. Achat she'alti me'etz Adonai, otah avakesh. Shivti b'vet Adonai kol yemei chayai, lachazot b'noam Adonai, ulevaker v'heichalo. Lachazot b'noam Adonai, ulevaker b'heichalo. This morning, a member of our community, Rivka Chandra, is sharing with us how she is preparing this year for the High Holy Days. I hope that her words give us all inspiration as we come ever closer to Rosh Hashanah.
Hello, I'm Rivka. I believe that God and angels are with us when things are good and even in the bad times. We may be unaware because we're so busy and we're not necessarily taking the time to sense His presence or His miracles. The word "hear" is the first word in the Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. The Shema is telling us to hear deeply within our kishkas and to make our prayers meaningful with intent. It is so amazing when we allow the meaning of the Psalms to dwell in our spirit and to apply it to our lives. In Psalm 63, when David was in the wilderness, his prayer was, "Oh God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you." I desire to seek to find God, as King David spoke of, to be able to participate with the awesomeness of connecting with our Lord. So the question, how do I prepare for the high holidays? I'm trying to make a time every day between me and God, speaking to God, quieting my soul, and waiting to hear that small, still voice. As I began in my efforts to connect with God, I found myself getting distracted with the phone and with so many other things going on in the home and in the world. On those days, I missed connecting with God. I thought about what was causing me to miss out, and I made a plan to make it a priority in my day, which I will share next. Here's what I do. 1, I silence my cell phone, create a quiet place, aiming for about the same time every day. 2, read with intention and faith the morning prayers and psalms from my Siddur. 3, I quiet my mind. I thank God. Whatever comes to my mind, asking Him, sharing feelings, and then stopping to hear that small, still voice. 4, I start a prayer journal to write when a thought comes to me, such as call a cousin who's ill, write a new inspiration, or pray for someone who's sick. Here's my journal. When I find time in my day to stop and focus on finding God, it is a fuller, better day, and I actually get more done. During this quiet time, I listen for that small, still voice from God. Sometimes ideas will come to me or a new understanding of something. Most important, I feel a peace in my entire soul. It is so wonderful to have God near me each day, deep in my soul. Lashana Tova, my friends.
Thank you so much, Rivka, for sharing all of that with us. I know it can be so easy in this crazy world when we're all in our homes where there's so much that's going on to be able to find the space and the ability to hear that still small voice. Your words, Rivka, can help us, I think, to really do some work of intentionality and thinking about how is it that during Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, I will find a place where I can truly pray, where I can make a mikdash ma'at, a small sanctuary within my own home. Well, for everyone who's a member of the community, you should have received a bag from the temple, and inside the bag there is a sheet in there about how to create this sacred space, how to create a place in which we can worship and truly feel that sanctity. And I encourage you to look through that, to use some of Rivka's kind of tips of creating that space. This year is a different High Holy Day season, obviously. We all know that. And there are some losses that come along with that. But there are also some really beautiful sacred opportunities that we can create a space that feels right for us. We can pick out flowers that are the kind of flowers that mean something to us, that we love, and we can place them in front of us as we celebrate the birthday of the world. We can put candles around and have the scents that speak to us and calm us, or that give us some sort of feeling that enables us to make the most of the season. We can do that which is personally inspiring. We can create a background that can be inspiring for others. Not this background here. You can put up a nice background. You can put up a poster. You can put up something that feels right for the High Holy Days. And just being able to take some time. If in the midst of services you feel inspired to write something down, to use a journal, to find something that you need in your home, you can do so because you are home. And I hope that we can really make the most of this High Holy Day season by adding that personal touch, by having the freedom to do all of those things. I would love to bring us back. One of the things that you taught us, Rivka, is the importance of looking at text and having these experiences every day. And so one of our experiences each morning throughout the month of Elul is to read Psalm 27. And each day, we might find just a little bit more meaning or different meaning within its words. Of David, Adonai is my light and my victory. From whom shall I feel fright? Adonai is the stronghold of my life. From whom shall I feel terror? When evildoers approach me in battle to feed on my flesh, my pursuers, my adversaries, they have stumbled, they have fallen down. If a camp encamps against me, my heart will not fear. If a war arises against me, in this I would trust. One thing I have sought from Adonai, how I long for it, that I might live in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, that I might look upon the sweetness of Adonai and spend time in the palace. That you might hide me in your sukkah on a chaotic day, hide me in the hiding places of your tent, raise me high upon a rock. Now my head rises high above my enemies round about, and in your tent I'll offer offerings to the sound of Truah. I shall sing and chant praises to Adonai. Hear, Adonai, my voice. I am crying out. Be gracious to me. Answer me. My heart has said to you, seek my face. I am seeking your face, Adonai. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger. You have been my help. Do not forsake me. Do not abandon me, God of my deliverance. For my father and my mother have abandoned me, yet Adonai gathers me up. Make your path apparent to me. Guide me in the upright road because of those up ahead who lie in wait for me. Do not hand me over to the lust of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, puffing violently. Had I not the faith that I would see the goodness of God in the land of life, wait for Adonai. Fill your waiting with hope in Adonai. Let your heart be strong and of good courage, and wait hopefully for Adonai. Yesterday we began studying this verse. Had I not the faith that I would see the goodness of God in the land of life. And we had focused on Lule of had I not. But today we focus on B'tov Adonai, the goodness of God. I'd like to share with you this very fitting reading for this morning from Rabbi Deborah Robin's book. I saw the goodness of God. I saw the goodness of God. A convention center transformed into a shelter after a hurricane. 5,000 beds lined up in neat rows. 2,000 people. Their only belongings in garbage bags. They called it home. The goodness of God looks like an angel without wings wearing a red vest and a lanyard after a storm. She has legs and hands and ears and eyes that don't see status, legal, social, or economic. Eyes that do see all ages and sizes, races and genders, strengths and frailties. She sees all people. She sees people made in God's image, holding other people made in God's image, exuding goodness. The goodness of God looks like new pink underwear. When the world is dark, it's good to have something bright. Cushioned white socks. After walking in mud, they rejuvenate like a visit to a spa. A turquoise fleece blanket, worn like a queen's cape, restoring some dignity. Soap, shampoo, and deodorant, smelling good is essential to self-esteem. The right size diaper. In all this discomfort, something should fit and not irritate. What does the goodness of God look like? It's bright, it's soft, it's dignified, it's empowering, it's generous, and when it starts to flow freely, it can flood our hearts, flood our lives, flood our world with kindness. The goodness of God looks like kindness. Let it flow. Right now, as we know, all of us in California, all of us on the West Coast know that there are so many people who are being affected by these fires. And we hope that they find safety. I think that goodness of God is in every single EMT and firefighter and rescue worker who is working so hard in order to keep people safe throughout this unbelievable crisis. And goodness will also be coming together in the days and weeks and months ahead as there's rebuilding, as more needs come in, coming together as a temple community to figure out how we might be of some assistance. We are lucky that most of us are outside of the danger zones, although every time we look outside, every time we breathe in the air, we are reminded that there is danger felt by so many across the West Coast, and we just hope for peace, for safety, and for them to know that there is support from community. I want to thank all of you for being here for the past 25 days, knowing that every morning I would come to a community of people who are all marking these days of Elul and preparing for Rosh Hashanah, for Yom Kippur, for Sukkot and Simchat Torah. It means a lot to be able to come in community. So it's so good to see you this morning, Jay and Elliot, Diane and Andrea, Riva and Leanne, Steve and Sunny, and everyone else who is here this morning. Thank you so much for being here. I want to make sure that I'm also seeing everyone on this page. Donald and Mara and Michelle and Tom and Pam and Sue, thank you also for being here this morning. It's wonderful to see you. And for everyone who joins later in the day, I'm so glad that you can take part in this Elul reflection project as well. But we can't have a morning of Elul without hearing the sound of the shofar. And so this morning we will hear from one of our youngest shofar blowers, Ethan Shehan.
Tekiah, Shavarim, Teruah, Tekiah.
Thank you, Ethan. Beautiful. In a world that is in need of so much healing, it's important that we gather every morning in order to offer words of Mishaberach for healing of mind, healing of body, or healing of spirit. And I invite you to take a moment to think about all the people who are in need of healing, all the people for whom you are offering this prayer this morning. Perhaps you have family members who are in harm's way from the fires, or friends. Perhaps you have family members who are sick in hospitals or at home. Perhaps you have people struggling with addiction or mental illness. Perhaps you yourself are in need of some kind of healing, big or small. May these prayers uplift to all of us as we hope for complete and speedy recovery for the healing that we need in the days ahead. Yisberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Yisberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us strength, show us the way. Mishaberach Avotenu, Mishaberach Imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we have another Elul reflection.